I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are going to be talking about another Star Wars movie. There's been many Star Wars movies over the last few years. We're getting one every year now. This is possibly the least anticipated of all of those movies, and that is Solo: A Star Wars Story, starring Alden Ehernreich, Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover, and Emilia Clarke, and many, many others. So going into this movie, I wasn't massively anticipating it. I watched the trailers, they looked okay, but I never really bought that Alden Ehrenreich was Han Solo. The humour in the trailers looked pretty forced. I wasn't particularly looking forward to this film. I wasn't expecting to like it. And overall, I was, pleasantly surprised. It was a bit better than I thought it was going to be. I will get into some of the reasons why later in this video. So, firstly, I will get into what the movie's about. So obviously this is about Han Solo's origin story. It starts with his criminal past, how he sort of, sides with the Empire for a small amount of time before he ends up getting into a group of smugglers who give him the opportunity to possibly become the best pilot in the galaxy. So, what did I like about this movie? Well, there's several things I enjoyed. It is a fun movie. There's some cool action sequences in this film. I enjoyed a lot of that. Alden Ehrenreich is pretty good as Han Solo. He's much better than I thought he was going to be. However, he still doesn't quite come across as Han in this movie, in my opinion. He definitely has some of the mannerisms down, but I don't think he quite completely conveys his performance. I think he's good in scenes. There's certain sequences where I think he really does well, but then others he isn't quite there. He's a bit up and down in this film. I think he gives, overall, a good performance considering what I was expecting. Also, Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, they all give fine performances. I'll talk about why I have slight issues with their characters later on in this review. But by far, the best performance in this movie comes from Donald Glover, who plays Lando, young Lando in this movie. And he is fantastic, okay? He deserves so much. This movie isn't great, it's okay, but he deserves to be in a better movie because he is fantastic in this movie. He is Lando to me in this film. He does Billy D. Williams' character justice. He's fantastic, he's charming, he's entertaining. He just completely gets his teeth into this character. And I really enjoyed his performance a lot. And in terms of action, most of the action sequences are your normal sort of generic scenes we've seen before. However, the one that I really enjoyed the most in this movie was the famous Kessel Run, where Han does it in 12 or 13 parsecs, whichever one you want to say. And that scene is incredibly entertaining. It's one of the most enjoyable parts of the movie, if not the best action scene. And it has everything you want in a big space battle. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Definitely, in my opinion, the best part of the movie. So now, I'm going to get on to some of the negatives that I have with this film. Firstly, it's difficult really to jump straight in without talking about my main problem. So I'm going to talk about my main problem with the movie right now. My main problem with this film is the fact that the plot is just incredibly generic, okay? If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to enjoy a lot of moments in this movie, because it does. It has really great moments in it. It has moments that you want to see. It has, Han winning the Falcon. It has Han meeting Chewie. It has all of these things that you want to see in this movie. And they're fun while you watch them. But it's pulling your attention away from the obvious problem with this film. And the obvious problem with this film is we've seen this plot a billion times. Like, this is literally Last Job movie. This is Heist Last Job movie number 100,000. Seriously, we've seen this plot done so many times. It's really, really generic. And certain characters in this movie are generic plot. Sort of, they fit the holes of the certain character traits that you have in these sort of movies. Specifically, Woody Harrelson's character Beckett, who is quite obviously the father figure to Han in this film. He doesn't get on with his dad. They don't really get into that very much. But Beckett is obviously his father figure in this movie, and it's so obvious that it doesn't really work, because you're literally here to fill a gap. And the overall plot was very sort of paint by numbers. I wasn't particularly interested in it. Also, Emilia Clarke's character Again, someone that kind of fits a role, and I can't really talk about that because I will get into spoilers. But leading into that, my other problem with this movie, the ending is incredibly telegraphed, and I don't really understand why they did it so much. They talk about a certain thing and a certain person and how they can't be trusted so often that by the end of the movie, the ending is so telegraphed that you literally don't care because you know exactly what's going to happen. And that is one of my biggest problems with this movie, is that telegraphed ending, that you just know exactly what's going to go on, and it's really frustrating to watch. I enjoyed this movie. There's definitely enjoyment to be had. The main, like I said, the main issues are simply because the movie, it feels like a string of fan service moments, papered together by a very thin story that we've seen very many times before. And my final issue with this movie is a droid in this movie, who is Lando's sort of navigation droid. I believe her name's L3. And this droid is incredibly irritating, okay? Every single time she makes jokes, okay, and they never land, okay? They always fall flat. I didn't laugh once at this droid. It was incredibly irritating. You may like it, I didn't. It got on my nerves. They probably use her just enough, and I won't say anything more than that, but she is very annoying while she's on screen. Didn't enjoy her at all. So overall, this movie, it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's fun, it's entertaining while it lasts. It has a great sequence with the Kessel Run. Donald Glover gives a great performance as Lando. The rest of the cast are fine, even if they do fit certain obvious sort of last job roles within the movie. The plot is very generic, unfortunately, and we have seen it a lot of times before, and it does kind of paper between the fan service moments that, however enjoyable they are, they're not really a cohesive narrative. And the droid L3 is kind of an annoying character in the movie. So this is a very middling film in the Star Wars franchise, and overall I'm going to give Solo: A Star Wars Story a 7 out of 10. So there you go, there is my review of Solo: A Star Wars Story. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. If you've seen Solo, what did you think of it? I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I could even rate it possibly lower, but I did enjoy myself while I watched the movie. It just, if you're not looking out for it, and if you are a sort of person that enjoys those fan service moments, then you're probably going to really like this movie. If you just want to see cool stuff that you want to see, and that's really all you're expecting and all that you want, then I think you're really going to like this film. But if you want a little bit more than that, then I think you're probably going to be disappointed. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.